So that's kind of big. Oh, I just saw you guys at the bottom there, Hermit. All right. So let's have a look at what's going on here. We have the Wheel of Fortune coming up, and the Wheel of Fortune, it's a card. It's Wheel of Fortune, right? It's fate. What is fate? A lot of people get confused on this. Well, we have free will. We always get to choose what we're doing. And when we talk about free will and choices, a lot of people see that as, but no, Jay, I can't make someone else do this, and I can't do whatever, to affect your external reality. That's not what the choice is. And I have a whole podcast on this that I recorded about a year ago. The choice is on how choosing to experience. Remember I was saying that where your heart focuses. So say, for example, I could have had a really shitty day, but now that I'm here, I'm fully focused, and I've had a great, it's very early in the morning here actually, but I'd be fully focused on what's going on with my reading. That this is the story. I'm fully immersed in it, fully present in where I am, not thinking about what happened in the past, not, oh my God, what are people going to think of this reading? That's what being in the moment is, being fully present right now. How do I feel right now? I feel great. Talking about the Wheel of Fortune right now. So then what does the Wheel of Fortune mean? It means when destiny steps in. Like there's always things that happen in life that we don't have control over the physical aspect of it. The redundancies at work, or someone deciding they no longer want to be in a relationship, or, someone leaving home, or the landlord saying you're evicted, whatever, I'm closing down, I'm not putting this house on rent anymore, whatever. Those things we don't have control over. But the Wheel of Fortune says the wheel has turned, the season has changed. And it's our job. How do we turn that fate into our destiny? Is to recognize it as an opportunity and to walk through the door. That is our choice there. So if they let you go from that job, it's like, well, I never liked that job anyway. Let me go and start that business. Let me go and apply for that other job. Do you see what I mean? That's how we turn that fate into our destiny. We can do the Five of Cups. Why did this happen? Why have I not got the support? Why is that gone? But it's seeing it as an opportunity. And the Wheel of Fortune is that. It's a new cycle begins. Now, it can be something that comes back round again. It may be the case for you, especially with the Five of Wands and it came up at the beginning, right? These two have they have a lot of significance because they came up right out of the deck. First two cards out, and they're very prominent, interacting with each other in the reading as well. But if that situation comes back round again, whether it's with the same person, whether it's the same company, whether it's whatever, it could be a brand new job, it could be a brand new relationship, whatever. It's on us to do it differently. Now that's underlying. So this is a lot of fate and destiny. Both of these cards talk about fate and destiny. We have the Lovers coming up with this. Now, the Lovers, yes, it can be around a relationship, whatever the nature of that relationship. But at its core, what the Lovers talks about is what we love. What we love. They're called the Lovers. They're not called the Thinkers. And I do see, I've talked about this often, it's number 6. And the Devil is number 15, which adds up to a 6 as well. They are two sides of the same coin. But at the Lovers, we are what our heart is called to. And a lot of people say it's a head or heart decision. It isn't a real decision. It's actually the heart has picked, this is what I love. This is how I want to feel. This is what makes me feel good. This is good for us. The heart is screaming that out. This is good for us. That person, that job, that situation, that career move. It's something that we must do. But it's good for us, right? And so the choice is then the head gets on board to give the heart what it wants. That's how this works. The Lovers is the illusion of distance. The Devil is the illusion of being stuck. They're both illusions. I see them. It's owning, well, my heart loves this. And then seeing an opportunity for how we do that. It's there with the Wheel of Fortune, but we may not see it. So let me talk about that. If this is around a relationship, it feels very fated and destined, but it feels like someone's avoiding it. It's general, so it can go both ways. Or, this could be whatever it is, the job, the business, whatever you want to turn around here. That's what I'm getting with this Wheel of Fortune, turning something around. I understand why, but it feels like you're not sure if you want to go for it, if you want to do this. That may be because you've had tower moments, the stars coming up at the heart of this. But right now, whatever your situation, it feels like you need hope. That's why the stars coming up there. The other thing with the Lovers, like I said, it's an illusion, right, of the distance. Once your heart's picked it, it's yours. Then it's closing the distance between yourself and what you love. This is where we decide what we love. Don't forget the card after the Lovers, number 7, is the Chariot, where head and heart work together to get us there. And your head's giving you problems right now. Whenever you get the 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 3 of those kind of cards in the future, that's a projection of what we see coming in. What we see coming in. So right now, whenever you're watching this, you know, tarot timings are bizarre, but whatever the nature of what it is that you love, and remember this, and it's difficult for an earth energy, I get it. I'm an earth moon, I'm a Virgo moon, so I understand. If it's not physically there, it doesn't exist, right? It doesn't exist. But right now, your purpose is, what do I love? So I'll give you an example. If this was me, say I love the tarot. I love the tarot. I love it. But it's like, oh, I never be a tarot card reader and, you know, whatever. But that's assuming that I'm not, didn't have this channel or anything right at the beginning. No, because the opportunity is that if I talk about tarot, people are going to be interested in it. I can start a channel if I choose to. That's the point, right? It's like, I love tarot. The opportunity is there for me to be a tarot card reader, but it's going to require effort. And it's the relationship with where we've tried something before. That's the kind of issue that's coming up here. It's the past that, you know, is the kind of issue. And I don't even mean issue. It's more, that's where we're hearkening back to. And that's not being in the present moment. That's not being in the present moment. So whatever you love, I just want to say it again. I want to make this very clear. You might dispute it, but I'll explain why you're disputing it as we go through this. Because the major arcanas, they are our major path in life. They affect everything. So this would be across the board. Whatever this thing is, it's big. Especially with the Wheel of Fortune, that's massive change. With the Lovers, for you, it's change now for you to go for what you love. And with the Star, it's look up. The Star comes in after the Tower. And so if that Tower hadn't fallen, which can be very shocking and it feels like a loss, right? If that tower hadn't fallen, we would not be able to see the stars. We would not be able to see the stars. But it's about letting your heart go for like, whatever it wants. And you will know that. You will know what it is because the heart doesn't think in things or possessions or people. Like your heart is not going to say, I love John down the street, or I always use John and Sarah. I don't know why. Sorry to all the Johns and Sarahs out there. But, you know, that's not your heart. That's your head that is saying to your heart, okay, so you like feeling in love, or you like that aspect of yourself, that loving, whatever aspect. I'm going to, well, then there's John. Let's go for John. That's your head doing that. The heart doesn't think in specifics. And that's where people get very confused. When they say, I can't stop loving him, or I can't help this thing. That's the only thing I want. No, that's your head. That's keeping you trapped on that one thing. The heart, the language of the heart is feelings. And feelings, they can be triggered by people and things, all the rest of it. But they're still our feelings. So what the heart wants is to feel more of that. Right? With me so far? Good. I want to take a minute to explain that because that's big. Coming up as an underlying, that is what you're tackling this month. This energy. If nothing else, you can stop this right here. If you're done with it, that's your message. Go figure out what you love. Because that's when you love it, when you focus on this is how I want to feel, you will see more of it. And not just as a want of that feeling. Like I want to feel love. All right. So what do you love right now? Because you get more of what you feel. Your feelings are a magnet. And that's why with the star coming in, it's asking you to look up and pick your star. Which one's your star? There's so many stars here. Which one is your star? The star is a very spiritual energy, very spiritual energy. And it talks about, you know, once you pick that star, it's a wish card, right? The star is the major arcana version of the 9 of Cups. So which one's your star? You pick that. Now, when people pick their star, so let's say, for example, if this was for me, and we're using that tarot example, and I said, you know what, I want to be a tarot card reader. I want to be out there helping people. That is my fate. That is my destiny. It's written in the stars. This is my purpose. This is what I came here to do. So say I've picked that. Now, that doesn't mean that the next step is me becoming like a full-time tarot card reader, making money, having clients, doing whatever. The star that I've picked, actually what I've picked in that is doing something that I love, expressing my spirituality. If you think about the language of the heart, it's the head that's come up with, you can only do that as a tarot card reader. Do you see that? I'm trying to really explain this because it's one that people get tripped up on so often. And so if I've picked that, I've picked my star, that's how I want to feel, that's what gives me hope, that's my new beginning. That is my roadmap now. That, I was talking about Google Maps, the reading being Google Maps. That is my roadmap. That is my path ahead. That if I've picked that star that I'm going to express my spirituality and try to help people through, let's try tarot, that might be the first step, then that's the roadmap. So let's start a YouTube channel. Let's get a social media page. Let me get some tarot decks. Let me start reading for people. Do you see that? That's what it shows. That's how we go forward with it. But I do love it. Like I'm really not trying to put your reading down because that's amazing, powerful energy. And when we have amazing, powerful energy like that shifts in our life taking place, let's be completely honest here. Now, when we see the star and the sun, but if this is a work reading for you, and I said this, I think somebody else got this combination. I don't remember who. Maybe it was Taurus. I don't remember. Anyway, so the sun is the spotlight. The star is your star rising. So it's about showing your star in that spotlight. In a relationship, it's the same. Now, think about this. If it's talking about the roadmap that's coming in with the star coming up, I'm going to straight up say this to you, Virgo, and I get this. Please trust. Our moon is our soul. It's who we are. So I have a Virgo moon. Trust me, I get Virgo energy. And it's one of the things I've worked really a lot with my Virgo moon because it was one of the energies that I didn't really fully understand. And I think for a lot of the time I came from in my 20s, I was at the lower end of the vibration of Virgo energy. I was judgmental and picky and a perfectionist and all of those darker energies that sometimes Virgos are known for, where there's a much higher vibration for Virgo, amazing energy. I mean, we wouldn't have this amazing world that we have if it was not for Virgos, for a lot of that, the service that Virgo energy brings and the healing energy. So I'm not shitting on Virgo energy. I love it. And I love that I have a Virgo moon now. Why do I say that? Because you are very much being instructed. I mean, have a look at this. There's opportunities, there's fortune, there's, the wheel is turning. But if you focus on what you love, if you focus on what gives you hope, if you focus on where the potential for happiness is. Because as an advice card, the Five of Cups, look at her. She is looking at what has been lost, what is not there. And that is what makes Virgo so good at figuring out, well, this doesn't work and this works. Don't forget, Virgo is the maiden of the harvest. What does the maiden of the harvest do? What does the harvest maiden do? She looks at the harvest and says, right, we can get rid of the stalks. We'll keep the corn or the wheat or whatever, the bit that we can use. What is of practical use here? And so this is very much in line with who you are. The thing that is lost, is it of practical use for you to keep looking at it? Answer it yourself. Because this is amazingly massive energy coming up here. Massive. And yet, why are we not making use of it? Why are we're going on this journey here? I understand it. And it may be a reaction to because you feel it so strongly, because you feel how big this is. It's that overwhelming how connected you feel to this person. It's overwhelming the shit that you're in right now, and it just feels like I can't look away from the train wreck or the shit show that my life is. But that's the only way that it will get brighter and bigger, right? You can look at the rubble of the tower, or you can look up and start looking at the new star. And there is a part of you that says, but Jay, I worked so hard in that tower, and you can't fix the tower. You can't fix that tower. That's the thing with the tower. And we always take a moment and sit and cry and look at the tower and think, wow, I put so much time and effort and energy into that and it fell. But at some point we need to say, someone get this shit out of here. I'm building something new. Something that is worthy of me. Something that gives me hope. Something that I can see my happiness in. Because the sun very clearly says what you focus on now, it will grow. What you focus on, it will grow. You are the sun in the solar system of your life. You give life to whatever comes. This is a card of creation, new beginnings, that life force energy, because that's why there's always a child here. There's something very innocent about this card, right? Innocent joy. And the sun is the bird's eye view of the maze. The other thing, when you get swords and you've got some difficult swords energy coming up here, it's around the stories that we tell. So it may be like when you wake up in the morning, are you going over the kind of difficult stuff? When you're going to sleep at night, what are your dominant thoughts? You know, and that's not to say, I mean, I deal with difficult stuff, but I keep it in its place. I mean, I saw a message this morning from someone. I was not interested. Like, I swear I was not interested. I was like, seriously, this person back again? But I don't need that. I do not want to give my energy to something shit like that. And especially not when there's this kind of beautiful, fated, something that you love. And with this power coming in to kind of help you move towards it, to see a path towards it. Do not forget, the Virgo is the Knight of Pentacles. That Knight of Pentacles is always going to get the job done, one step at a time. What screws him up is where if he starts looking for fault in everything. If you had people like that, they walk into a situation and they would just see the fault. This is what's wrong here. And they start complaining about it or doing whatever. And it's like, that's not being in the moment. That's not accepting things as they are. That doesn't mean you have to put up with bullshit or shit service. That's not what it means. What do I love about this situation? It's shifting the focus. Shifting the focus from being critical and even self-critical. I mean, there's a lot of this self-criticism maybe coming in. That's very personal energy down the bottom there. That, you know, going from that kind of critical energy to, wow, what's good about this? What do we want to expand about this? Where's the potential for happiness in this situation? So with the Five of Wands, your foundation last month, last year, I understand, because you've really put some effort into something. That's what the Five of Wands is. Showing up, you know, getting it done. As I said at the beginning, the card that comes after the Five of Wands is the Six of Wands, recognition for the work that you put in. This is healthy competition. This is giving it your best, giving it your all. And you don't see it. I understand that because of this, but because of this effort, there's a beautiful opportunity now. That may not have gone how you wanted it to, but that's what we do when we have black and white thinking. It's either good or it's bad. It's easy or it's difficult. But the thing is, just because something's easy, it doesn't make it good. Just because something is difficult, it doesn't make it bad. You may have, I'll give you an example. Say you've trained really hard at some course you've done, and you worked really hard for that promotion and you did whatever, you know, and you didn't get it. So that's where you think, well, screw it. What was the point of that? But maybe through going through that struggle, that thing, it's given you a new skill set. Maybe now you can go teach that subject. Maybe now you can do something else, which would makes you actually more happier, which is a new beginning. There's hope here. It's like, wow, I actually really love that. But when we get stuck on just one thing, which is what the head does, remember I said John or Sarah, or, you know, it has to be in that company or it has to be that specific job, we can miss out on so much. And the truth is, you can make anything a success with this energy, as long as it's what you love and as long as it's where you see your potential for happiness. Because if you focus on what's missing, or you focus on, well, I worked so hard on this, look what's happening, you get the Seven of Swords in your present. And the Seven of Swords is a card that talks about, is it worth the risk? Sevens are always, is it worth it? Is it worth the risk? Do I need to plan this a bit more? Do I need to think about, that's the head coming in. The big thing for you this month, if you do nothing else, but just identify, this is what I love. This is what's the best for me right now in my feelings. In my feelings. This is what gives me hope. This is what makes me happy. If you can focus on that and really feel that energy, really feel that energy. There are no risks involved, because the fact that you're doing a risk assessment means you're not looking at this. You're not focusing on what makes you happy, because when you're happy, right? You don't think, oh my God, is it going to cost me to be happy? We're talking about emotions, the lovers, not the thinkers. The other thing with the Seven of Swords, I mean, have a look at her. She's running away from the future. I'll talk about these two together. So we have the Seven of Swords. Is it worth the risk? Is it, you know, whatever? And why? Why are you doing that? Because the projection forward, whenever you get Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, the moon, any of that energy in the future, it's a projection. The cards would not predict, I don't even like that shit, but predict, oh, you're going to think that you can't do it. Like, what the hell? How can someone tell you what you're going to think? That's what you've got already. You've not just said right now it's not worth the risk. Why is it not worth the risk? Because in the past I put so much effort into something, didn't go down the way I wanted it to. And in the future, I may not be up to the challenge of doing it. And it's like, no, right now, let's pick it from right now. What makes me happy right now? I can change direction in the future. I could do something else. All right, my lovelies. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for watching. Please trust that whatever you get up to in December, you will get what you need. You will get what you need. It isn't, because it doesn't always look like how we want it to, we think it's not working, but it is. I will see you next time, but that's all for now. Goodbye, my lovelies.